Tonight, we make soap.
Intermittent fasting, it's an incredibly easy and sustainable eating practice. It's simple. You simply avoid food for a certain period of time, and then you feast.
To make soap, first we render fat.
This small restriction actually gives you more freedom. You don't have to waste time about worrying about what you're gonna eat or when you're gonna do it. However, there are still some invisible rules of intermittent fasting that no one talks about.
The salt balance has to be just right, so the best fat for making soap comes from humans.
These guidelines, they're just like the rules of Fight Club. And in this video, I'm going to explain you what they are.
Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
Don't do intermittent fasting just to become a martyr. The 19th century German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche would agree with me on this one. Wherever on earth the religious neurosis has appeared, we find it tied to three dangerous dietary demands: solitude, fasting, and sexual abstinence. Fasting shouldn't be done as a way of repenting your sins.
This is a chemical burn.
Instead, it's an empowering strategy to improve your health, your cognitive functioning, and your well-being.
Second rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
Fasting shouldn't be done as a way of punishing yourself either.
It'll hurt more than you've ever been burned, and you will have a scar.
What are you doing?
You shouldn't think about it as restriction, but something that liberates you.
Without pain, without sacrifice, we would have nothing.
Restricting your eating window, it might seem obsessive and too confining, but it gives you more freedom. You become less dependent on food and your hunger levels. You liberate yourself from this hunger.
What you're feeling is premature enlightenment.
And you don't have to spend time eating something just because you feel obligated to do so.
The microwave cordon bleu hobby kit.
You can skip a meal every once in a while and you don't have to worry about it that it's gonna have a negative effect, because it won't.
Third rule of Fight Club, someone yells stop, goes limp, taps out. The fight is over.
Doing intermittent fasting requires self-mastery, but it can also become a double-edged sword that strikes back at you.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
You need to be very mindful about how your body reacts to fasting and how well you can handle it.
Like in the face?
Surprise me.
The fact is that physiologically you'll be fine. Your body shifts into ketosis, you'll elevate growth hormone, and you trigger autophagy, which will all protect your cells.
Motherfucker!
The problem is that psychologically you may not be able to go through these longer periods of time without food.
Hit me in the ear!
Well, Jesus, I'm sorry.
Ow!
Therefore, you shouldn't jump right into it and expect to get some good results. Start with having 14-hour fasts, then 16, then 18, and then have your first 24-hour fast.
Fourth rule, only two guys to a fight.
This is an important one because you shouldn't fast to try to impress others or to compete with someone else.
Are you threatening me?
It's you versus you, first and foremost.
I am Jack's smirking revenge.
You shouldn't force it onto others either.
What the hell are you doing?
Fifth rule, one fight at a time, fellas.
Let's be honest, everyone could use a bit of intermittent fasting every once in a while, but not everyone is willing to do it. That's fine. You do your own thing. You just give them the information, and maybe if they want to try it out, then they can try it out. But other than that, you have to focus on yourself and your own goals.
Sixth rule, no shirts, no shoes.
Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate, so we can buy shit we don't need.
Seventh rule, fights will go on as long as they have to.
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
So, to reiterate them once again, here are the invisible rules of intermittent fasting. Don't do intermittent fasting to get social recognition or validation. Do it to improve your health and give yourself more freedom. Don't use intermittent fasting as punishment or to deliberately starve yourself. It's a great tool for fat loss, but first and foremost it should be done for health purposes. Don't push yourself unnecessarily too hard. Be mindful of how fat adapted you are and build up your fat burning engine. And lastly, do intermittent fasting for yourself first and foremost. Don't try to impress others or judge them for not having the same mindset.
And the eighth and final rule, if this is your first night at Fight Club, you have to fight.
If you want to avoid breaking those rules, then definitely click the like, subscribe, notification bell as well. Watch my other videos about intermittent fasting. My name is Seem.
Tomorrow will be the most beautiful day of Raymond Castle's life. His breakfast will taste better than any meal you and I have ever tasted.
Stay fat adapted, stay empowered.